So you've been on the ground during many of these riots and attacks on Trump supporters by BLM and Antifa. And most recently, you were in D.C. for the Million MAGA March. And your videos bring to light a lot of the violence that the mainstream media just won't cover. But now Twitter is silencing your voice. Did they tell you why, your account was suspended on their platform?
No, ma'am. So I was covering the Million MAGA March, like you just said, and I was retweeted by President Trump this past weekend, showing the actual numbers of Trump supporters and the piece at the Million MAGA March before the left came over and started attacking people later that night. And I think that has to do with why my Twitter account was deleted. I didn't get any email. I actually didn't even know my Twitter account was suspended until I asked my friends to go check because I couldn't access my own account for several hours. And it was at that point they told me that I was suspended and my account was completely gone.
It seems like there's a pattern here that we've been seeing play out, is that every time President Trump retweets videos and posts that make really good and valid points, the person who posted that, the original user, such as yourself, they get suspended, they get their accounts sometimes outright deleted and banned. So we do see this pattern playing out. And since you do use social media for so much of your reporting, so much of your work, do you think big tech censorship has been getting worse as this election has been dragging out?
Definitely, Kara. It's something that we've all seen across the board with conservatives. The press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, was censored. Every single one of President Trump's tweets have captions on them about how his tweets are fake or they're not valid or they're not, official sources said that's not true. And my account as well, I am more of a conservative reporter, but every single one of my videos were as neutral as possible. If it was Antifa burning down an American flag and attacking the family, that was my caption. I solely used my Twitter account when it came to riot coverage to show the American public the truth of what was going on and let them decide for themselves what they thought about it. So Twitter taking down my account is just another step towards them covering for Antifa violence, Black Lives Matter violence, and silencing the truth of what's really going on here in America.
Is this the first time that you've been targeted this way by Twitter or by other social media platforms?
It is. I've never even been suspended on my Twitter account before. That's why it was such a surprise and my account was completely taken down. Never suspended, never put out a tweet that was flagged or anything like that. Like I said, I used my account to really expose riots, protests, rallies across the country. And I've been doing that for 3 years now. I had over 120,000 followers and several people who were retweeting me and, trying to expose that truth. So it definitely came out of left field, but it's not surprising in the least.
Do you think Congress is doing enough to really crack down on big tech? I know just this past week we've seen Jack Dorsey at Twitter and Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook. They went before the Senate Judiciary Committee for a hearing. What would you like to see happen to big tech? We hear Section 230 changes. We hear break up the monopolies. What would you like to see? And do you think Congress is doing enough on that end?
I don't believe that Congress is doing enough because we've known for years that conservatives have been getting censored. I think that Section 230 should be repealed because we know that big tech is using their platform as a publisher. So when they censor journalists, when they censor conservatives and they take down our posts and what we're trying to break when we are breaking news, that's them acting like a publisher. Section 230 protects them from that. From being held liable from what people post on their platform. So Section 230 should be repealed if they are going to act like a publisher, because right now social media is in essence a public square for free speech where millions of people can figure out what's going on in the news, all around the world. So them taking away our freedom of speech in that sense, Congress needs to do a lot more.
And when you were on the ground at the Million MAGA March, when the violence started breaking out later at night, when Antifa and BLM and other left-wing agitators came in and started harassing even young families, women were having their hair pulled, a lot of these videos you took yourself. Did you feel that your life was in danger at any point?
Definitely. Like I said, I have covered a lot of riots and protests, Philadelphia, Portland, even here in Texas and Austin. And I've never had to step away from an event. But after watching the 10th attack on women, the elderly, and children, it became too much for me. And I couldn't keep reporting anymore and watching the police stand down as innocent families were attacked. Now we're talking fireworks being thrown at Trump supporters who were having dinner that night. We are talking, you just played that video of children being run down and chased down by BLM and Antifa because there was a Trump flag in their vicinity. It was the most heartbreaking event that I have ever witnessed. And I even did a live stream on my Twitter. And, I told Trump supporters, please don't come out in the street. This is not a game. This is not a joke. And the police will not protect you.